Welcome to the World of Chucko and our Sunday morning appreciation broadcast. Each week, right here on Facebook at Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, from sunny Sarasota, Florida. It shows me always asking, it says video live, but it ain't started yet. And we got a special guest today, but today is National Friendship Day. And here we go. We're going to see. Should be on there. Should be on there. We're on live. Yeah. Remember that song?
Yeah.
Friendship. Friendship. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. That's enough of that. Happy birthday, Lucille Ball. And hold, if I turn it off, we'll get it out of here, out of the way. We'll get it out of here soon enough. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the World of Chucko. You can see we have a special guest here. I hope you can see him. Hold on a second. I got to get some light on this great benefit today that we have. So, can you come in? Maybe. Oh, there he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
The one and only Ron Severini. There's a history here that is important to world history and American clowning history, and certainly my personal history. And we're going to get into it in a minute, just a second. Great to have you, Ron. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Welcome
much.
to the World of Chucko. Make sure they can see you in there. We're going to start coming in, already starting to come in. Get my glasses there. There's Bonita. She's our newest student. She just took a lesson about clowning. There's Mitch. You know him very, very well.
Hiya, Mitch. How are you? Can I hear them? Or
No, you can't hear him. We haven't turned that yet because, you know what, so many people went through the Zoom during the pandemic that I didn't want to push any. And a lot of people who get up early, they don't want to get dressed up or they don't want to be seen, you know.
Okay.
So, you know, it's there you go. Who you see in there? Who's in there?
Anita.
Oh, that's my sister. You met her one time, didn't know it, but she knows you. Certainly she knows you.
Hi, Anita. How are you?
And she's in the Villages. Good morning, Anita. Missed you last. We seen you last.
Bob Kelmer. I know Bob Kelmer.
You know him. He's
He was a
in
student of
Colorado, you know. He's in Midwest. He gets up
Great
nice
clown.
and early. He is a great clown. And he's a Santa Claus, too, you know.
Yeah, you know, there's more and more clowns that are becoming Santa Claus.
Well, we're going to talk about that, and a lot has to do with you, Ron. I hope I can see. My eyes is not. I went to the eye doctor. There's Kerry Griffin. He's calling up.
I know Kerry.
Yeah, here you go. You can talk to him here. Yeah,
Kerry Griffin. I remember Kerry Griffin.
Hey,
Holy
Kerry.
mackerel.
Can you hear?
Cool.
Kerry, can you hear us?
Kerry. I don't hear him.
Hey, Kerry, you there? Kerry, can you hear me? I can't hear him. I don't know why. Kerry, we'll talk to you on the line. I don't know why we can't hear you. Says mute.
Yeah,
No.
Chuck, how you doing?
Oh, there you are. How can you hear us?
Hey, Ron, how you doing?
Hiya, Kerry. How are you?
is
Man,
it-
it's been a long
I gotta
time.
get Ron's books.
Yeah. We're going to talk about it in just a
I
second.
gotta get Ron's books.
All right, we'll make sure you get them.
The auto one.
We'll make sure you. Ron gives the information. That's a big part of today's program. Kerry, let me get back to the program. Stay with us, and we'll get the information. Great to hear from you.
Don't go anywhere, Kerry.
Kerry and I. Wait a minute.
I got a good one for you, Chuck.
Yeah, what is it?
Hey, I signed you up for the Bridge Club.
The Bridge Club.
Yeah, but the bad news is this Wednesday is your turn to jump off.
Oh, come on. I thought you were going to send me to the dentist or something. Kerry and I, ladies and gentlemen, watching the World of Chucko. Kerry and I were students of Ron in Clown College in 1977. You bet. Right? Kerry, let me get back to the program. Stay with us. We'll get Ron's information about the books. Thank you. Great to hear from you. Thanks. There you go. So let me start the program,
Wow, this is
Ron.
cool.
That's great. It's exciting,
People
yeah.
can call into you.
Yeah, they do everything. We
That's
get
nice.
everything, and we're just blessed because this is our Sunday morning appreciation broadcast for August 17th, 2022. It's the World of Chucko. If you're unfamiliar with our programming and who we are, we're a 501c3 not-for-profit arts, entertainment, and educational organization serving primarily the senior care and special needs community locally, but because of the internet and because of our YouTube channel, because of this Facebook channel, because of our Patreon channel, we have reached the entire country and the entire world. And with the devastation of the pandemic, because of that unfortunate situation around the world, it enabled us. It was a blessing hidden in a cloud of monstrous, terrible. But because of that, we were enabled to make monthly broadcasts for the senior care special needs, and it went around the world. And now we have almost 24 monthly themed programs that are on the YouTube, plus our programs. This is a similar to one. Our morning program is weekly live, and it's an appreciation broadcast. But we also do Behind the Picture Frame, and Behind the Picture Frame with Grandma Pearl, with JP and his mom, JP Theron and his mom, with Patriot Top, one of our other characters in the world of Chucko. And all these people came to us, Ron, through a blessing. The blessing, it's strange, because right before the pandemic hit, I was taken ill, and it was pretty serious. Our viewers, many of them know about that. But through the time from January all the way till the end of March, when I was finally released from the hospital, and it really didn't look good. But anyway, by the grace of God, these prayers, people, support, family, friends, our clown world relations, and the general public, and our local community facilities that we were serving for 20 years with our programming. Here I am doing a morning program, and it's an appreciation broadcast. And this is a very special one today because you're here. And people who know about my book, The World of Chucko, Destiny or a Gift from God, you're in here. And the reason is because in 1977, you called me up and said, you can come to the clown college. At that time, it was tuition free. It was, if you could,
Always tuition.
was it always? Okay. And so I'm going to let you tell the story about the clown college, but they know a little bit. And every week, something about the clown college comes up, and I say, I'm going to get to it. I think we'll do a different broadcast than the morning program, because it's so appreciated. I wouldn't be here without it. But there's so much involved in it. But to have you here as a guest, I want to just make sure I catch up with the message. There's JP. He wants to say hello to you.
Oh, hey, JP. How are you? But I can't hear him. I can read.
Yeah, you can read. Yeah, that's right. They can hear you. They can hear you. And he can't. He's not talking. He's just messing. There's David.
Great
he
clown.
does our production.
JP is
He
great
is,
clown.
right? And you know his mom. She worked for
She
you.
used to work for me.
It's exactly. We're going to get to it. Bob Kelmer again. There's Victor Ruiz is there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hi, Victor.
Victor's in New York, up there with Donald. Let's see
What
who
a
I
great
missed.
guy.
The 17th, David, I'm going to get to it. Please don't let me forget that. Thank you very much. We're going to get the book. Bonita wants your book. Everybody wants your book.
Amazon.com.
All right. And we're going to get to it because I have another book here that we have shared here. And this is, was this one of your first ones? The first one?
Which one is that?
This is
That's the second.
This was the second one.
Second book.
And it was given to me by lovely Nancy Berman. She'll be on there as Matthew Wright there.
Wow.
And so
Hi, Matthew.
you never know. You bring out the woodwork, that's for sure. Hi, Matthew. Good morning and welcome to World of Chucko. Anyway, this book is one of Ron's second book, and it's signed by Jim.
It's
Tell about it.
the work of the artwork. Not all of the artwork, but most of the artwork of. To me, I call him the greatest painter of American clowns in the world today. Mr. Jim Howe.
You bet.
Very proud to have collaborated on that book with Jim.
And I'm very proud to be a part in there because you and Jim allowed my picture to get in there, somewhere in
Absolutely.
there. And I want to just share it with the people because this is the World of Chucko anyway, and they may be interested in that.
You know what happened was Jim would make these paintings, sell the paintings, and the people would take them home or do whatever with them, and then they were gone. And a lot of the cases, he didn't take photographs of them.
Is that right?
So we had to go back and we had to try to get to people and say, "Can you please take a photograph of it?"
I'll bet.
Send it back, or we had to go take pictures of them and fix up the pictures of the artwork. So it's the life work of Jim Howe.
You bet. And there's a lot of people in there that we know. In this broadcast, of course, Cowboy Mikey's right here, always with us. And his birthday is coming on the 18th. And that's when we're going to have a workshop, our first clown workshop for the World of Chucko. Information about it. There's Jim Tinsman. His birthday was yesterday. Hey, there's Chucko. And right next to it is Jackie LeClaire in a wild spot.
That I just happened to, it wasn't, by coincidence. We happened to just put the same people, so you guys' faces are smushed together for eternity.
And that happened in Bill Ballantyne's book.
You and Keever and
well, that's
Jackie.
all your people, right?
Yeah.
And so
people.
I want to bring something else. Before I turn over the program to you, I want to check the messages. I always check them in here. Is David? Yep, the Amazon link for your book, That's the Amazon link. There it is. Thank you, Tirza and David. Help us with our
So
monitoring.
other people can see that?
Yeah, everybody can see it. That see the whole of the
Oh,
notes.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's Barry.
So that's your book.
No, no,
That goes to
no,
your
no.
book.
That's your book.
Oh,
That's your
you
book.
go to Amazon.com and
Yeah.
then you, I guess, search Ringling Remembered.
Oh, Ringling, we're going to get that up there,
Yeah.
put it up again, and we'll make sure we put it on there. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. I'm so excited because there's so much I want to share. There's Victor again. There's Bonita. She wants to know to get the book. We're going to go back a little bit. Kushida-san, konbanwa. Kushida-san's in Mino, Japan. He's a dear friend of ours, him and his wife, Midori, and his lovely mom.
Ohayou gozaimasu.
Ohayou gozaimasu. Konbanwa. Ima tsunaita. Konbanwa.
Konbanwa.
Yeah. I went to Japan with this fella too, and I wouldn't have gone without him having me on that team. And
Yep.
JP's mom was on that team as well.
JP's mom was sitting right behind me. It was me and Frosty Little, and on right behind us, she was sitting there, and Bob McDougall's wife,
Yeah.
Pauline.
Pauline,
Yeah. They're nice people.
Yeah. So,
Gotta
Kushida-san,
pick nice
arigato,
people.
konbanwa. And make sure to keep up. David's naked. We don't want to know about that. There's my sister. Says hello to the world of Chucko. We're just catching up before I turn it over
Victor.
because there's so much I want to say.
Victor,
Back and
JP.
forth, back. They're talking to each other. They have an A and B conversation, and I see myself in the middle of it once in a while.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. That's
Matthew
mine.
Wright. Hi, Matthew.
Matthew, we'll get
Barry
Ron's.
Phillips.
There's Barry. You know Barry,
Oh,
right?
Very well.
Yep. Bob
Great
Kelmer
guy.
again. There's
Great
Mitch.
guy.
You talked to Jim Howe just 2 days ago. There you go. Right, Mitch. They have a very close relationship as well. Told him about the steamrolling gag. You remember the steamrolling gag? Mitch is asking you about the steamrolling gag.
Yeah, where they rolled over the clown and then they left the
Flat, right?
flattened out.
Yeah. Lori Ledbetter says this is a beautiful book. Your book too, and you know Lori. She's in New York. You had met her many times. And Ringling, remember? There it is.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
put it on there for you. Everybody can
Okay.
see it there. Victor's there.
Very proud
Bob
of-
Kelmer.
very
Great,
proud.
great.
Very proud of that book.
Well, we're going to talk about all that book, this book, your other books, but I want to show the people something from this Ringling program, and it goes back to 78, 77, 78,
Whoa.
and I want to show this picture because this is
Whoa.
Ron teaching. And you had twins that year, I guess. That was the year
Yeah,
before,
I
after
had
us.
twi-
You had twins, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I used to be twins, you know. My mother
did?
has a picture of me when I was 2. Anyway, there you go. My sister likes that one. There's some more. And in this historic program, by the way, and I think it's 78 or 79. But anyway, Ron.
You were a graduate of 77 class.
Yes, sir. And I'm in there. They got me a little spot in there. Look at all the great clowns that was in there that year. From John Russell and Frosty and Bobby Kay was there and Dale
Kenny
Longmire.
Horseman. Kenny Horseman.
Yeah, Kenny
He used
Horseman.
to be my driver.
Is that right?
Yeah.
No kid.
Yeah,
In D.C.?
Yeah, no,
Everywhere.
all around the country.
Oh, really?
We did advance one year, and in particular we did advance of the Ohio State Fair. When
Really?
we put together the only year it ever happened was Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Thrill Circus,
Uh-huh.
and we put it into the Ohio State Fair, and we went around the entire state of Ohio advertising the coming of the
You remember the year?
1977.
Because in 19...
and Kenny and I hired Kenny Horseman as my driver.
Kenny was also alumni. Just let me interrupt you. Kenny was alumni of Ron, of our class when Ron was in there teaching. That was the director of the school with Bill Ballantyne, and then the next year he became the director. And that's where I'm going with this story. Just say about Kenny because Kerry was there, right? And the last, right before he passed, I spoke with Kenny.
Really?
And yeah, he called me up and he told me the story. We were very close because of you and Frosty and Tim Holst. Kenny and I, we become the first co-boss clowns. So you was a boss clown in the Blue Show.
I was.
But 7 years later, when they were taking Frosty to send him to the Blue Unit, all you guys get together, and Kenny and I were co-boss clowns. And then when he met his wife, he wanted to
Really?
go with Bernie, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we had
Bernie
Horseman.
Spencer.
That's right,
Was
yeah.
her maiden name, but Bernie
Spencer.
Spencer.
She was a trampoline girl, remember?
Uh-huh.
Like an acrobat or
Cute
something.
little girl.
Yeah, she was a jumping jack.
And they had a son. They had a son.
Yeah,
Bernie
Spencer.
Spencer.
And he's big. He's
Spencer,
big with that
He's a very fine
illusionist,
magician.
right?
Yeah.
He worked with that
Magician
guy.
illusionist.
Was the guy is one of the most popular trendy illusionists. He went in New York City and he did the
I know what you
Houdini
mean, and I
drop,
can't-
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a real
saying.
trendy. Somebody will know out there, but a magician, and he's still working. Anybody in there? What's it say?
I'm
Oh,
looking.
Mitch is
Trying to
looking.
keep- trying to keep
Mitch,
up.
looking for yourself. There he is. Where is he? There he's got the drum. See, there's Mitch he's looking with the drum. Can you see with the light?
I'm on the back cover of that
Yeah,
program.
he's right here. Mitch.
Jonathan, Mitch Freddy's.
Mitch is over here. See, he's over. I'm doing like we do on when you go to the radio, the television, and watch the news.
Yeah.
And you got to look over here.
Oh, yeah.
So there's Mitch. He's on the back cover. Anyway, I got to get to this story because the time goes so quickly, and I want to give as much time to you. And you know, in case of me,
I
I
need
was
as much time as I can.
I was vaccinated with a phonograph needle, so they know that here. And let's see, there's Lance Burton. No, it wasn't Lance Burton. Was it Lance Burton?
No.
No, it was a different guy. Lance is a great, great magician and a friend of ours as well.
I saw that he's
There's
got a
another
big
guy.
bus. He's going out on the road.
Yeah, and you know who's with him is Tommy Lang, the clown.
Tommy Lang was a student of mine,
And he was-
and Michael Goodell.
and Michael Goodell, they
was-
worked
and,
with-
and Michael was a student of mine. I
And
got
they-
all these students out there that are still in the business that have done really well for themselves. I'm so happy.
I want to get this on my notes for that too. I want to make sure we get to that because not only was Ron the dean of the clown college, he was with under Bill Ballantyne, and then he took over for 10 years.
8 years in America, and then I was the director of Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Clown College, Japan,
Right.
for 2 years.
That's exactly.
Actually, before then, from what I was told, I don't know if it was true or not, but from what I was told, the word clown was you couldn't even find in the Japanese dictionary.
That's true. Peter
and,
only.
and then Pierrot, yeah. So we put the word clown into the Japanese language.
Wow. I didn't know that history.
Yeah.
That's
But
great.
they spelled it crown, C-R-O.
You bet. And when we were in Carnival Plaza,
Crown College.
Crown
Yeah,
College.
because they pronounced the
R as a-
L's like an R.
You bet. And they had a giant Crown Mart, which was American goods in the place of where we were, and it said Crown Mart.
Yeah, I got a couple of pieces of merchandise over there. It says Happy Crown.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're going to make sure because Mr. Kishida's here today, and we'll make sure that the people in Japan, especially, I for until the pandemic, yearly when I came back to America, when I come back to America and the Rico came, I would go back and do a yearly workshop. Clowning and
Really?
entertainment variety. And we have a great, great team. Some of them will come on there. Mr. Kishida, I went to his house after a workshop one day and put him in makeup. I'll put the picture later.
Okay.
Yeah, and he.
You better write all this stuff down because your time's ticking away here, man.
I know what's going on. I got it right here and I got it
Okay.
right there. But I have to tell, most importantly, is because you, in my humble opinion, and I'll post it again. I post it each and every, maybe sometime quarterly. If you go to the World of Chucko page, Facebook page, ladies and gentlemen, coming back from Noriko's Kitchen, here it is.
Whoa.
American breakfast for
Whoa.
wait a minute, let me show what it is there. Look, Noriko's Kitchen. Look at that. Wow,
Okay,
look at
now a
that.
word from our sponsor.
Yeah, Noriko's Kitchen. And
Do you like eggs? Do you like breakfast? Well, come on over.
every Sunday morning, Noriko's
Noriko
Kitchen,
eggs.
except for last week. See, last week I was fasting, and this week I'm fasting as well. Last week I was fasting for health, and we are still continuing that. The doctor put me in a special diet, and when my sister had to correct me last week. It's funny. Oh, here's mine. Oh boy, here's mine. What do I get? Special due to the 18th fasting and the Jewish fasting. Holy smokes! All I can have is an empty plate again. Do I get water? Oh, good,
Whoa.
good. You like that?
Boy, I never get rid of this woman.
Well, no, that's for sure. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
So I am fasting. I told the people last week, and last week, if you were paying attention, you might have seen I went down. I got a little dizzy, Ron, in the middle of the program because it was our first week, a complete week of doing this special diet. The doctor gave me a diet. So my sister chimed in. My sister's kind of comical herself. And she said, you remember the drunk went to the Parker meter and put a dime in? He said, what do you know? I weigh an hour. And I butchered that gag so bad because I was dizzy. And my sister wrote it in and told me how to fix it. So that happens, right? So I'm going to get, you
I
take your
don't have
time.
enough time. I gotta-
Take your time and
gotta
eat.
eat.
This will give me a chance to give you the introduction that I wanted to do. Let me check through who's coming in there. It's so exciting from you. Everybody out there knows how I feel. Spencer worked with Copperfield, Burton, and there's one more guy that he worked with because they did a thing in New York, and he was in the Houdini water thing, and he almost couldn't get out. And that time, Kenzo had called me up because he was so concerned about it. His son, I'm just trying to think of the guy's name. He's a young fella. He wears jeans, and he does a lot of these. He's a really modern magician, and I'm sorry not. My uncle used to be a magician. Did you know that? Mm-mm. Yeah, he used to walk every Saturday at 2:00. He walked down the street and turned it into a bar. Anyway, let me get back. We'll find that guy's name, whoever he was. And Spencer is still working, to my knowledge. He's still working because I think it was an anniversary of Kenzo's, either his birthday or an anniversary of his passing. And Chris Angel, thank you very much.
Yes, Chris Angel.
Hey, that's Kristen. Oh, that's Patriot. Patriot, meet Mr. Ron Severini.
Hi, how are you?
You might have known her or her mom, Nikki Wilson, and they were involved in the clown world, and that's where I'm getting to. I will get to it. I'm watching the clock. Patriot in you watch our World of Chuckle programming, and she's a little Patriot. She's in there, and her mom was Nikki Wilson, and she was in the era I'm going to get to when you were putting people to work all over the country, and the clown clubs all over the world. And the clown clubs were starting, like Clown America, and they start really growing. And there was clown camps and all that stuff.
At one time, I had 120 clowns working all over the world.
120, wow.
Yeah.
Ringling trained.
Yeah, they all came in one
all
car.
From your, yeah, they all came in one car. I'm going to let you talk, believe. Just keep eating.
I'm eating.
I got to give this intro because aside from the clown college and the I'm going to say easily in 8.5 and plus 10, 12 years. But you were involved in Ringling, aside from the clown college, in other aspects, because I know that you took me one time to Minnesota, and they did a festival up there. There was Thrill Circus Festival.
Kenneth bought out a company called the Festival Events Incorporated, Kenneth Feld. And for several years, we did thrill circuses.
Right.
At these music festivals. There's a Memphis Music Festival, St. Paul River Fest, and
right.
the Montreal Music Festival. And they were like 10 days long. It went from a Friday all the way through into the following Sunday.
Right.
And I had about 15, 20 clowns on those events. And, we did they walked around the park.
Right.
The event. And then also we did a clown show.
And the thrill show.
Right. So, and I tried to employ as many clowns as I could. So I just kept on telling Kenneth, we hire more clowns, put more clowns in the clown college. We develop all the material at the clown college for all these events, because we had the blue unit, we had the red unit, we had the gold unit, we had Circus World, we had the Disneyland Circus Fantasy.
That's right. That's what I'm getting to that too as well. Yep.
We had the music festivals. We had Clown College Japan. We were gearing up for an entire theme park in Japan.
And you had the stores opened up too. Them stores opened up.
So
right?
Kenneth made me the director of special events. So all these special events, I just went from one to the other. And it was nice because the clowns didn't have to get stagnated in one place. Some clowns wanted to stay.
Mitch says, "Speak louder. It's hard to hear you."
Okay, Mitch.
You don't have to yell.
Okay.
Yes, a little. You are quietly.
Where was I?
So you're talking about the different events, special event. You were director of special events for Ringling Bros. Barnum Bailey Circus, which is now, of course, Feld Entertainment. It was then as well, but it still had the banner of Ringling Brothers, right?
Right, and we had. So if there was one clown that wanted to, felt like, okay, well, I'm doing this a little too long, I just moved them over to another place. So sometimes if they were in the red unit for a while, they can go to the blue unit.
Right.
They're in the blue unit for a while, they want to get off the road, they can go to Circus World. If they were tired of Circus World, they're tired of, or they wanted something new, and so we would send them over to Japan. And
you did the commercials in Japan as well?
Yeah, we did for Borden. Borden's. And we were working on a stage show at the time just before I left. We started gearing up to do an all-clown stage show off Broadway.
And then you did with Peter. They did with Peter and Dick Monday.
Yeah, they did that
Manhattan, right?
Yeah. So they did that. Then I left, and I went to. I got a job I couldn't turn down at Disney World. So I became the director of all booking for all of the theme parks in Orlando. All 4 theme parks. So every variety act, musical act, animal act, under contract,
Went through you?
Came through my office.
Wow.
And so I started hiring some of the clowns to now work at Disney property. Not really as clowns, but they were doing
Characters,
the characters, yeah. So there was quite a few of them over there, and then I did that for 10 years. Then after that, I left and I started my own company.
Right.
And I started hiring some of the clowns for cruise ships.
Right. And so,
uh,
pretty good chance that if you've seen a variety performer in the last 30 years, I'm going to say 30 years or more, a variety performer on a cruise ship or in an amusement park or at a special event or at a festival, 99% of the chance that they were either a student of Ron or an employee of Ron as an agent. Is that fair to say?
yeah.
So I'm going to go a little bit.
I tried to.
No, you didn't try. You did. You did. I know you gave me a lot of work, and I'm happy for that. Wouldn't be sitting here today.
Yeah. Well, you know, I saw a guy, a very fine magician, a couple of weeks ago, and he said, "Ron, I miss you so much. And when you were here, I used to have 300 nights of extra work now, a year. Now I get 2.
Wow. Get back in the business. I need to work myself.
No.
All these people would like to have to
Now I'm
work.
just writing.
Is that, yeah. And we're going to talk about that in a minute, but I got to go somewhere.
Okay.
I want to watch this clock. We always watch the clock. We're mindful of the people's time because this is Sunday morning. Some people go to church. Some people have their Sunday. It's the only day they have to share with their family. And we're very mindful. And that's why we had a very serious discussion. What time? It's 9 o'clock on the East Coast if you're watching from somewhere else like Bob Kelmer and some of the other people that are in the Midwest and the West Coast. But you can always watch the program repeated. But live, we go at 9 and we finish at 10, almost right on time, out of respect for you. Noriko say I'm always late, so she bought me a watch. It was 10 minutes fast. So I put the 10 minutes fast and I got used to it, you know. So then she bought me one that was 10 minutes slow. And I put that and I got used to it. Then she brought me a watch. It was broken. It stopped at 2 o'clock. I said, what good's that? She says, take the 10 minutes that's fast and times it by the 10 minutes that's slow. Divide it by the 2 in the middle. And if you want to know what time it is, call me. I'm in the kitchen. So anyway.
She does very well in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah. She's
we're
good and I
on
don't
my
have to
front.
pay her. She's good for nothing.
Hey.
Anyway, so I want to tell about Ron. I have to tell. I want to ask.
Okay, ask.
And this is a chance for me to dummy up.
You can ask anything you want to ask, and anybody out there in blog. Is this blog land?
No,
Are
this
they
is
in
the World of Chucko
the
family.
world of Chucko. Chucko land. Ask me anything.
There you go. And we'll watch it. We'll make sure we have time.
Except how much I paid somebody else.
No, we don't talk about that. But we will talk about something that I think Mitch and I were talking. Mitch is Jonathan Freddy's. For those of you who know Mitch, he is on there, Jonathan Freddy's. And we were talking, and we want to know, Ron, everybody that had been to clown college that we know before us, which you were in 1971.
Right.
And some names that come on here, Lee Stevens, if you're out there, good morning, Lee. He was an alumni of yours.
Yes.
And sometime he's on there, sometime he's working on a lot of fairs right now.
1971, we graduated in 1971.
And you had, let's see.
Along with, in the year that I attended, was the 4th year of Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Clown College, 68, 69, 70, 71. We had Steve Smith, who later on became the director of the Clown College after I left.
Right.
And Tim Holst.
Became
Tim, I
performance
love,
director.
Performance director. And talent scout and ringmaster.
And vice president of the organization.
Yeah. Tim and I used to go around kind of like split up, and he would go try to find acts over here, and I'd try to find acts over there, and whatever.
You worked a lot together.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, Tim was my brother. Yeah. Tim was the godfather of my son.
Is that right?
Yeah. So, and who else was in?
Zarek?
Bob Zarek, who recently passed away. A great clown.
Yeah.
And Lee Stevens, who
Lee.
you mentioned.
And there was one more in there in that group that I think about when I think about you and Lee and Zarek and Tim. And I'm sorry, I can't think of one more. And I was looking at having notes, but I put them in different notes. Just can't think. Your group, and you had an outstanding group. But what I'm getting at is,
well, my ex-wife Sandy.
Yeah, that's right.
It was in that year.
That's
Actually,
right.
We got married in makeup and costume, and at that time it was still called Center Ring in the Los Angeles Forum. And it was August 1st, 1972. Just a couple of days ago would have been our 50th anniversary.
Oh, Mazel Tov.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
good.
that was the beginning of the first day we got married. Well, it's actually the celebration of the first year, because International Clown Week.
That's what I want to get to.
Started
Yeah.
August 1st, 1971, and we got married August 1st, 1972, from the first anniversary. So that was 50. So International Clown.
How did that start?
You know what? I don't really know.
Did
who
it have to do
who
with the
started it.
circus or no?
I really no. It wasn't Ringling. It was
The clown
one of
groups
the
or
clown
something?
groups.
Yeah, because
that
I never
started,
really. I was telling you this
International
morning.
Clown Week.
Yeah, I was there. I didn't know about it.
No,
You know,
so it was August 1st through August 7th. So what is today? August 7th?
today. Yeah, it's the end of it. The last day.
Today's the last day.
That's why we
Oh,
got a
here I
blessing
am.
here. That's for sure.
Okay.
You're here to announce that.
Yeah.
So I was going to answer that live because I didn't know. And you mentioned Bob's Rake passed away, and this week we
Yeah.
lost Robin Urich.
Yes, yes.
And many of the
from
people know.
lived in the Sarasota area.
He lived down here. He's
And,
from California
I don't think
or
that
from
Robin-
Chicago or
I
something.
don't think Robin was a graduate of the clown college, but if somebody is correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, if you went to clown college with Robin, let us know. We've seen many people that were his student, and we don't have that answer. Mitch and I were
got a
answering.
note from Bill MacTell.
Oh, hey, Miss Bill, he's in the Baraboo.
And Baraboo I was going to go, and I couldn't make it up.
He's
there.
got a couple weeks left, and he's doing a great. Ron, I know he's one of your students as well, and he
Yep.
is one of the great. I was blessed to work with him on the Blue Unit and in Japan.
Mr. Bill.
Mr. Bill. I call him Miss Bill. He always correct me, and he wants me to call him Miss Bill. But ladies and gentlemen, one of the great working clowns today. He is working, and he does a great job. I celebrate him every time he comes on. Thanks, Bill. Good morning. So he said something to you. Good morning, Ron and Chuck. Glad to see you made a trip to it. Yeah, he said you got it. You know that. Yeah.
I wanted to go up. I wanted to see him. I wanted to see. At Baraboo, they have the display.
Oh, Tim Torkelson.
Tim
group.
Torkelson.
That was it coming in from Kelmer. And also said Stevie's birthday is tomorrow.
Stevie Smith.
And there's a bunch of them. And I didn't listen because I had you as a guest, and I know how I can yap. But if your birthday, I did post it on the World of Chuckle, all the clowns that we knew that we had worked with, or that we know personally, or that we know have a birthday this week and last week. And I know there was, what's his name was, I mentioned Tinsman was on there, and there was another guy was on there, was Joe Barney was on there, and just a handful. I mean, there's a lot coming up. And so I want to get back to this, what you know about that, because I mentioned last week that everybody was talking International Clown, and I didn't know much about it. I don't know much about it, and I was waiting to have a chance to talk to you, and then I wanted to know, you told the story. So in 1971,
1971, it started International Clown Week,
Right.
August 1st to August 7th. And then Sandy and I, it just happened to be, we picked August 1st, 1972 as a day that we,
wow.
it was the first time.
Oh, Mazel tov, happy anniversary.
Thank you very much. It was the first time that two Ringling clowns
Got married in the ring.
Yeah.
Under Mr. Fell, right?
Under Mr. Phelps.
Wow.
Tutelage,
Because
yeah.
I happen to know.
And you know what happened at that wedding? Stevie Smith was the best man.
Right.
And so we were all in makeup and costume, and there was more press than I could ever imagine. My mother and father flew out from New Jersey all the way to California, got them front row seats, and they couldn't see the wedding because there were so many people from the press. And there was one guy that was a photographer from AP, Associated Press, who took a picture the second that Stevie, the best man, kissed Sandy, and that's the picture that went all over the world.
You missed it.
So I told Stevie, well, if you're going to kiss her, then I'm out of here, Stevie. Anyway, it's that was 50 years ago.
50 years ago. God bless you. Mazel tov. So Mitch says, I just called Jimmy, that must have been Jimmy Tinsman, the other day, and he said he had Achilles heel fixed. He used to have trouble with that. He had these special things in his shoes, and recovering from that. He had him and Mitch were, they were great partners. They did the table rock and many other routines. And in the years they got together doing the table rock, as I mentioned, and see what else it says. This is great, especially the danger involved in that table rock. That was scary.
I don't know if Jimmy got hurt from the table rock from a foot or not.
No, he had, maybe he did, but he always did. He was an acrobat, another guy, one who was a natural acrobat, and just a wonderful, wonderful friend and teacher and mentor.
Jimmy was partners with Barry Lubin for a long time.
That was on there as well. I think I saw Barry's name when it was a different Barry in there. Barry Lubin comes in once in a while.
Phillips.
Yeah, he
Barry
comes
Phillips
in
is
once
a
in a while.
Great lighting designer in
You
the
bet.
Orlando
area,
right?
right? He worked for you sometime?
I don't think I actually ever hired. I
Call him up, Barry.
recommended Barry, but I don't to a friend for an event, but I don't remember. By that time, when I had met Barry, I really wasn't hiring
Tex.
techs.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
I got a question. You're almost done.
bacon.
Yeah.
Bacon. Where is the bacon?
It's a nice Jewish boy. He's eating bacon. Yeah. So, here's the $64,000 question. I'll let you finish your bacon, but I
take
want.
it out to cash.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if you get it right.
Okay.
You say the secret way, and we'll divide 100 out. I think I have it over here, just in case. I knew you were coming, so I bake a cake. You know, you were talking about marriage, and we saw a guy in the nursing home. A lot of people know that our regular work is in the senior care and special needs community. We saw a guy the other day. He was 98 or 99. He says, "I'm getting married, getting married." What do you mean getting married? See, I got married for the last time. It's just a couple of weeks ago. He said, "You won't believe what happened." I said, "What happened? What happened?" He was crying.
I hear a joke coming, but go ahead.
He started crying.
Oh,
He
really?
said, "Well, can I tell you?" I said, "Certainly." He said, "We got married last Friday. The wedding lasted till Sunday. Our friends were all gone. Then we was alone, side by side." He said, "We got ready for bed when I thought I'd nearly drop dead when her teeth in her hair, she sat on a chair, side by side. One glass eye so tiny, one hearing aid so small. Then she took off one of her legs, leaned it against the wall." He said, "I sat there broken-hearted. Most of my wife was departed. I slept on a chair. There was more of her there, side by side." When you said marriage, I had to tell that story. Anyway, here, you ready?
Do you sing?
Yeah. No. What'd you do with the money? So my sister's going to write that in there. What'd you do with the money? You watch. It'll be on there shortly.
all
It
right.
takes about 35 to 40 seconds for the comments to come in. And if I'm yapping, it takes a few moments to see it and respond. So people in the audience, they know that. And this is our family and friends, the World of Chuckle family and friends. And what a blessing to have you here. Ron Severini, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know his face, I'm going to encourage you, go to his website, go to his Facebook page. You got a Facebook page?
I have
And-
yeah, I think
Yeah,
I
you have it.
Facebook.
You have it, yeah.
I try to send people to the website. It's theseverinicompany.com.
And we'll post it.
www.theseverinicompany.com. And if you want to order one of my books,
There we go. Where is it? Yeah. And he's
then-
got, how many you got now?
I've written 3 books and I'm finishing up my 4th.
And tell the
right
title.
now.
This is Ringling Revisited.
No. Ringling Remembered.
Oh, remember, I couldn't
Ringling Remembered Through the Eyes of a Circus Clown.
Wow.
So it's 50 short stories that I put together that I wrote over a 3-year period, and about how I saw the circus.
That's right.
And it's got 5-star ratings.
You
and,
bet.
I sell, I don't know, Amazon sends me a check for about five sold books each day. In the beginning,
Wow.
just clowns are buying them, and then what?
We got to do the TV
Okay.
because it got a light there. I want to
Okay.
make sure they see it.
And then the circus community started buying them. And then the theater community started buying them. Now just the general public is buying them. So I finally made it through without any advertising.
And they're in Baraboo, right? Where
And they're
Bill
selling
is,
in
right?
Baraboo. And
Ms. Bill.
Mr. Bill has been very nice. And when he gets to lecture or talk to his to the guests up there
Right.
that attend up there, he says he tells them about buying the book. So
Great.
they go to the guests. They go to the
Kiosk there.
the gift shop,
Right.
and they buy a book, or you can get it online. And there it is,
And where does he get that?
Amazon.com.
There it is. Ringling Remembered. And so this is another thing I want to tell you. We haven't had a chance to talk, but this broadcast, this appreciation broadcast, everyone knows that the things we talk about each and every Sunday morning are only, they're from my view, they're my opinion, from my personal experience, and anything that's not, I always let them know that I heard this from someone or someone told me this. But almost everything that we talk about each and every week is documented. It's just like your book with them the stories. They're your personal recollection from what you've seen, what you did,
Right.
and your
Through
hands
my-
are on it, right?
through-
Through your
through
eyes.
my
And that's the
eyes.
title. Through
Yeah.
So that's Ringling Remembered. The other one is over here. This one.
The first book that I put together was I consider it an autobiography because it was the life
Oh,
of
yeah.
Otto Griebling, and his daughter Penny who I became very good friends with. I talked to her and I said, I'd really like to do a book on autos. I said, you have any material? She says, boy, do I have material. I got boxes and boxes of it under the bed. I said, okay, well, can I go see it? So I went down there and they had stacks and stacks of this old memorabilia from autos. It was just in big, large Tupperware containers. And she said, here, take it. So she let me take everything that Otto ever had that he should have put into a scrapbook but didn't put into a scrapbook.
Of course.
So I took it back home, I scanned everything, and I put it back into a book that would have
It's over
looked
here
like
somewhere. I can't reach it, but
it would have looked like it was Otto's scrapbook.
Wow.
So that people, I made 1,000 copies. They were limited edition and numbered and signed. They're all sold out. The last one sold at auction for $200.
God bless you.
So,
I've got one right over here, but I can't get to it because it's in the
I'll give you
bookshelf.
100 for it.
You might get it. No, no, I want your sign on it. I think you did sign it for me. I think you did sign, and I needed to sign this one. What's the
Okay.
next one?
Then the next one was the book that you showed earlier. Was the
Jim
Art
Howell.
of a Clown, the life works of Jim Howell, who again I consider the greatest American painter of American circus clowns. And that's the second book. The third book is My Ringling Remembered. That I showed you.
That's available on Amazon, though.
Amazon.com.
Or at the Severini.
No,
No, you can't get it there?
no.
Okay.
I stopped sending them because that's all I was doing was I couldn't write because
Amazon.
I was
Answering.
Yeah, I was wrapping them up. I was with bubble wrap and putting them in the envelope and driving to the post office and driving back, and that was like took a couple hours that I can't keep doing that. Either
Sure.
have to hire somebody to do it or just let Amazon sell them. So. You can get them on Amazon. The fourth book is not a circus book. The fourth book is called A Gift of Love and Laughter, and it's a 250-page collection of short stories for either regarding love or laughter.
Wow.
And drawings that I've done.
Yeah,
and,
that picture I put it up,
Poems that I've written. So that's the fourth book. And
Hey,
then,
you're a poet and don't know it. Your feet show it. They're Longfellows. And you also gave me a tiny little book called Frosty Little. A little tiny little book. I got it in the library.
I made little books.
They're little books.
I made on 12 different topics.
Right.
But I stopped making them because that's all I was doing was wrapping them up.
Yeah.
And
And
sending
they're
them out.
tiny like that there. I had to get
I made
more
one
guys.
on issue. It was the
That's the smallest book.
the smallest book on the smallest
Smallest
man.
man.
And then I did another book just on little people, which I thought was pretty cool. And not only was it a book, but it's a magnet, so people would put it on their refrigerator.
Oh, nice. Speaking of little people, we want to say thank you to Eugene Pigeon. He came down. He was in 2 different episodes of The World of Chucko, and he also is a monthly supporter of The World of Chucko. And Pidge, you know Eugene Pigeon, you know him.
Yeah.
And he used to slide on his head, remember?
Uh-huh.
And so, but I want to get to the $1 million question. It's really important because I think it's important to me, and sometime on this program, not very often, but I'm a little bit selfish. And I am selfish today because what a guest and what a pleasure. I wish you were here longer. There's Jim. Kristen loves Jim Howell. Of course, she knows her and her mom. Nikki knows Jim. They know him very well. They worked when they were doing them mall shows with Leon and Jim when they were doing mall shows and
Yes.
those things. And they were involved. She was the education director for one of the Clown, I think it was a Clown International or the Clown Group, or Kristen's mom was. And then she became Petritop with us. And Bob Kelman says, yeah, Kerry's going back again. All right, hang on, Kerry. Hang on, Kerry. I got to cut you off. Hold on. I don't know how he comes in there. Kerry, I'm coming. I want to get back because Denise Wilson has a brand new book. Right? There's another one. It's getting quite the library.
Something, elbows, or
knees, elbow. There's Severini Company. There it is. Somebody, Tirza, put it back
how
again.
nice.
Good. She put it.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
very
Tirza.
much.
Barry was. They got a couple Santa Clauses we're going to get. That's not. Sorry, today we're not going to get to the Santa Claus because it's really important. Again, I'm a selfish today. I'm honored to have you at the World of Chucko. There's Kerry Griffin. We got to interrupt him. Yes, sir. What are you doing? How you doing? Well, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Kerry, no, I don't want her. Kerry's on there. Where's he at? Kerry's on there. Kerry's in Massachusetts, near Framingham. And let's see, where is that? I don't know why he's on there. How can I answer? Hello, on the line. I don't know how to do it. Sorry. I don't know, Kerry. I'm trying to find you here. recent calls. I don't know. I don't see it. Kerry, I'm sorry if you're listening. I can't get to answer your phone, but we'll get to you. We'll absolutely get to you. I got the million. I'm way all the. Kristen's going to make sure you get your book for her mom. Absolutely, you know how to get it now. Thank you very much, Ron. You played such an important part of my personal life, and the world of Chucko knows it. We talk about, reference you often on the different things, especially in the history of Clown College.
Right.
But my question, Mitch and I were talking. Why and how did you find the Clown College? It was so early. It was 67, 68 was 67 was the first year. So now you're 71. And to get in there at 71 when you went, first of all, can I ask how old you were, how you found it, and why you went there? Because in the case of me, people who knows my book, I wasn't looking for it. I didn't know nothing about clowns and all that kind of stuff. And when I got there, I was blessed. I found out that God had sent me there. I found that out. But in the case of you, I'm just going to dummy up because I think a lot of our viewers and listeners and other people too, I know that Mitch and I are very interested. How did you find it? How old were you? Where were you? How did you find it?
I was 19 when I applied to. Hello.
Yeah.
I was 19 when I applied to Clown College.
Right.
And what was another question?
I want to know how did you find out? Why did you apply? Why? Why?
That's a long story.
We got it.
When I was seriously, when I was an infant, I was born in the back room of a grocery store in Irvington, New Jersey, and my mother and father had a little grocery store. And when they would always have to go out and work, and they would keep me in the crib in the back, and they put a little clown doll in the crib, and they said, "Here, you play with the clown. The clown's going to amuse you, and have fun with the clown. And then we'll be back." And they had to go sell whatever they're going to sell, and then they would come back, and then my father pick up the little clown, and he'd dance him around, and he turned in the wind up, and the clown would dance around, and the clown became my little friend, and it was a symbol to me of love and laughter and fun. And I love clowns ever since that whole time. So when then every year, my mother would dress me up like a clown for Halloween. Every year I got pictures.
Yeah.
I don't know why she did that. And then with the advent of television back then, that was 1953, 54, in the beginning of TV. I just used to watch everything I could watch on comedy. My brother wanted to watch drama stuff and cowboys and stuff. I just want to watch comedy stuff. So anyway,
And you're also, I have to interrupt, you're an expert on the Marx Brothers. I happen to say that. You love the Marx Brothers and you know a lot about them.
So when I a little bit older, at that time, there was no videotapes or DVDs or Netflix or whatever. So I had a recording device, reel-to-reel thing. So I recorded the audio of all the Marx Brothers films. I edited out the commercials, and then at night, when I would go to sleep, I just play the audio, and I close my eyes, and I watch the movie in my mind and get to do all the lines.
How old was you?
I was 13 years old.
Wow.
So, and then my father had an old movie projector that for some reason he used to show these little 8
Castle film.
Yeah, Castle films of W.C. Fields. And it was called the story was called The Great McGonagall. And for some reason, the projector broke, and you could adjust the speed. So I adjusted the speed as slow as I could watch it, and I saw W.C. Fields, how he did his cigar box routine, step by step.
And you did that, too.
So I copied cigar box routine, and then I ended up having my own cigar box routine. And then I started playing music in a group up in New Jersey called the Saturday Night Bath.
What did you play?
I played piano, and then I played bass, and I was kind of like the comic in the act, all the way up until I was 18. And then I heard about Clown College because there was a story in one of the New York papers about Clown College, and I thought, I love comedy, I love clowns, I love burlesque. I really wanted to be a burlesque comic, but burlesque was gone. And in variety acts, there wasn't so many variety acts anymore, around like there was back in the 30s and 40s.
So did you audition?
Yeah, I went to. I sent in a note. I got a note back saying, "Come on to the auditions in Madison Square Garden." I went, and there was like 80-something people at the audition, and then all these actors and actresses. And I thought, I'm never going to be able to get into this thing, but let me give it a shot. I kept raising my hand. Bill never picked me to do anything.
Talking about Bill Valentine.
Bill Valentine. And then I applied to. I was either going to be a musician or I wanted to be a clown. So I never heard any more from clown college. So I applied to Berkeley School of Music, and I got into Berkeley. So I
Really?
moved up to Boston and started taking my classes up there. And then I got a note from Bill saying, "Okay, we have 3,000 people that applied to clown college, and we're only going to take get 40 of them, and you're one of the people. Come on down." And I went, "Oh my God, what the heck am I going to do?" How much time we got? We got.
You're okay. Don't worry. This is world breaking news. You tell whatever you want to.
So it's a very funny story, and I tell the story in the book.
Good.
I didn't know what to do. I was torn between, do I stay in music school? Do I go to clown college? Do I stay in music school? I said, oh, I don't know what to do. I was asking people. I was asking friends. I was asking people on the street. True story. I was walking past a drugstore in Boston, Massachusetts on Boylston Street, and there were these two bums, homeless people, bums. And I thought, I'm going to ask these guys. I said, okay, I'm going to sweeten the pot. I went into the drugstore. I got 2 cigars. I came back out. I gave 1 cigar to each one of the bums. I lit the cigars for them. And I said, guys, we got a problem. And the one guy looked at me like, wow, nobody ever asked me a question like this. And the other guy couldn't give a crap if I was asking him a question
Just
or
tell
not.
us. Go.
Yeah. So I said, this is my dilemma. I either want to, I'm already in music school, but I got accepted to clown college. And I don't know what to do. Do I stay in music school? Do I wait a year? Do I go to clown college next year? What do I do? And the guy said, well, you got 2 choices, buddy. He said, so give me a quarter. And I said, give you a quarter? I just gave you a cigar. He said, no, give me a quarter. We're going to flip a coin. True story.
Wow.
He said, we're going to flip this coin. Heads, you go to clown college. Tails, you stay in music school. I said, okay. He said, you ready? I said, yeah. He said, flip the coin. I flipped the coin, and as soon as it got all the way up to the top, he quickly grabbed it. And he said, quick, what are you hoping for, heads or tails? I said, I'm hoping for heads. He said, that's your answer.
Wow.
Inside yourself, you knew what you want, but you couldn't have a good come out. I never saw if it was heads or tails. It didn't matter. The guy took the quarter, put it in his pocket, kept it. It was the best quarter I ever spent. And
and you heard it here.
And I called back up Bill Ballantyne. I said, okay, I'm coming. And then I called up Berkeley. I said, I'm leaving. I told to my landlord. I said, I got to go do this. I went back home to Jersey. I packed up a suitcase. I got on a bus. People said, you ran away during this. I didn't run away. I took a bus.
Yeah.
I took a bus all the way from Newark, New Jersey, all the way down to Sarasota. I got off at Sarasota. I took a bus from Sarasota to Venice.
That's
I
right.
got off at Tamiami Trail. I started walking down. I had like this heavy sweater on. It was the middle of September, sweating profusely. I walked down to the arena, and there was Bill Ballantyne. He said, are you Ron Severini? I said, yep. And he said, okay, come on in. We got a program for you. And I went in, and from then on, I stayed with Ringling for 20 years.
Wow. More.
Yeah.
I mean, in other aspects, right?
Yeah.
Because, wait a minute, was he wearing the pink shirt and the white pants when
Yep.
you met him?
Yep. I went to this is another funny story for me. I went to Bill Ballantyne's room one time to have a meeting, and he had his closet door open. One of those double door closet doors, and it was like Superman.
I love it. I love it.
He had 12 pink shirts and 7 pink shirts and 7 pair of white pants.
Every day.
Every day he wore a pink shirt, and he put those little cards.
That's right.
And he would take out the card from those little
index cards, right?
and write something down, and then put it back in his pocket. And then I did a book, actually nobody knows about because I only made a dozen copies of them. I did a book on Bill Ballantyne's the artwork of Bill Ballantyne, and I gave them to Toby, his son, at the time, and he gave them to some of the relatives and things. And I stayed up in Toby's library where he had all of Bill Ballantyne's artwork and stories and boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes of those index cards with all that stuff that he wrote on it.
Imagine?
And I thought, so here it is. Bill spent his life writing these things down, and now they're just in index cards in a box, and nobody's ever going to probably follow up on what those ideas are. So it kind of told me, it said in my mind, I have so many ideas that I want to do and work on in my life. I'll never get to all of them. Someday my son will find them in a box, and I'll go, what the hell am I going to do with these? And
I don't
so
think
you just
so.
got to
I
pick
don't
and
think so.
choose what you want to work on. So that's what I've been doing. I've been just picking and choosing the one thing that I want to work on. And Beethoven had a quote. Exactly what it was, I don't remember, but it was something that you can get the most amount done if you do one thing at a time.
You bet. And you know what happened to Beethoven, So
What?
he made so much money.
Yeah.
He went so much money that he started drinking and raising hell and everything, and he went baroque. That's your music. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, can you imagine? That's probably the first time that's been verbalized here. I know in the world of Chucko, a lot of these people, Mitch and I never heard that story. And here's the reason, ladies and gentlemen, and ladies and friends, family. It's really friends and family. I got to get back in these notes. A lot of questions for you. And we'll give all the
Charlie
time.
Strawn is out there. Jeff Darnell. Oh my God.
Yeah, it is.
Lisa. Whoa.
Yeah. Kristen wants to
this
make
is
sure she
great.
loves your
I gotta
story.
listen to this every week
You
now.
got to tune in and be a guest.
These
Let me go back to where we were.
Week here.
Let me see. I want to get back.
JP.
Yeah, JP says.
Charles Strachan.
Let me see. I just want to go back.
I used to hire Charlie.
You bet. It's okay. I want to
As
just
a
catch
slow
up for
walker?
you, and then I want to give my comments there. The building in the tunnel in the morning. That's JP.
I wanted to be a burlesque dancer too, but I didn't.
That's JP.
Yeah, burlesque was just all about gone, and vaudeville was all about gone. I remember reading a very interesting quote, actually attributed to Milton Berle. It was back in the 1950s, and he said, folks, as much as I love it, vaudeville is dead, and the television set is the box they buried it in.
You bet.
And I thought that was really true because people before pre-television, you could do an act, a 7-minute act. You could do it for the rest of your life because nobody else would see it.
Nobody
Only
see it,
the
only
live
one- that's
audience.
right.
But as soon as television came in and the advent of TV, then you did your 7-minute act. The entire country, the entire world, or whatever, eventually could see it, and then you had to come up with another act.
Brand
another
new
act.
stuff,
And
huh?
I think that's why more singers were able to work because there was much more material readily available to them to be a vocalist or a musician. But a juggler, I mean, you had to look how long you had to practice to create your own material, and you had to create your own material because no other juggler wanted you to copy their stuff. And but there was a heck of a lot of songwriters out there that were continuing to create material. But so variety acts, and now back then, my dad used to book variety acts. He used to book do a tour for a while of the Duncan Yo-Yo Champions, the Yo-Yo Champs.
Well, what's the name of this?
Sponsored by
Duncan.
sponsored by Barnum's Turkish Taffy, and
Really?
and he would put them from city to city, these professional yo-yo champs, and they would sell the Turkish Taffy, they would sell the yo-yos, and then if you bought a yo-yo, there was one guy that used to carve your name because it
In
was
the
a
yo-yo.
wooden yo-yo. He would take out his little pocket knife and he would carve your name into the yo-yo man, and the kids. They would line up just to be able to do that. Then he did in the beginning, he did the championships, the events for the hula hoop back in, I think it was 1954, 1955. He started doing the hoop for, I think it was Whammo.
Whammo. I have
was
to tell you,
the,
Lisa Dufresne says hello. And
Lisa!
I'm only interrupting you because Ron said hula hoop. And that's a joke. We don't do inside jokes here. But Noriko had challenging with her language with hula hoop. And Lisa fell on the floor laughing. So I had to interrupt you because you say the hula hoop. Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Hi,
Yeah,
Lisa.
that's for Lisa. Go ahead.
What was I saying? Oh, so
yeah.
he was doing, started promoting the hula hoop and started getting trying to help, not just him alone, but trying to help push the whole revolution of hula hoops at the time, man. Every kid in the world, in America, had to have a hula hoop, just like every kid for a long time
You
had
bet.
to have a yo-yo,
Right.
and so I always loved that kind of stuff. The variety acts, the variety artists,
Right.
and then when I was at Ringling, in the beginning, I went to the clown. This is
The chronology. That's what
evolution.
we want to have. Yeah.
So in the beginning, we had the band that I was in. I used to do the musical comedy part of the act. And then when I heard about the clown college, and I eventually got in, so I went there for 8 weeks. I thought, okay, I'm going to go for 8 weeks. I didn't know they were going to offer me a contract at the end.
Right.
But at the end, they offered me a contract to stay, and I stayed for the first year. Then the next year, then Levoy Hips was the
That's
boss
right.
clown, and
He's here in Sarasota.
I saw Levoy
Yesterday?
2 days ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great.
at the Loomis Brothers Circus.
Right.
And then Swede Johnson became the boss clown. Swede, I loved Swede to death. He was just the funniest guy. Swede Johnson was the first guy ever in America, rodeo clown, to use the barrel.
Is that right?
Yeah, and he used to be on tour with W.C. Fields. He used to tell me his stories.
He was
about-
married to Mabel,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
she was still there. And
Yeah.
then
She was in charge of wardrobe.
that's right.
Mabel Johnson, and Ann Johnson is out there somewhere, and then their Ann's daughter was working for Cirque du Soleil for quite a long time. So where was I? So then when Swede took over, Charlie Bauman said you need an assistant boss clown. So Swede made me the assistant boss clown, and then when Swede retired, they made me the boss clown, and then Irvin was going to retire Bill Ballantyne. So they made me the assistant director of the Clown College, and then when Bill retired,
You took over then.
I took over the Clown College. I was there for the Clown College for 8 years. But along the way, I mean, there was Circus World, so I was the director of the clowns at Circus
That's right.
World
And
in
Dan
Orlando,
Stapleton said
Florida.
hello, and he wanted.
Dan Stapleton, I saw him
Yeah.
yesterday trying to buy
Yeah.
up
Hey,
all
Dan,
the,
good
the
morning.
posters.
Yeah, he's a collector.
Yeah,
But
great
mention
guy.
him because
Well,
of Circus World, of course.
Yes, and Dan and I worked together at Circus World back in the late 70s.
That's right.
When he was the illusionist and magician there.
Wow.
And then when we put together the 50th anniversary.
Wait, before that,
What?
20th anniversary.
Yeah. Okay.
You were
I was
involved in
jumping
the
ahead
20
to the 50th.
We want the people to hear, Ron.
Okay.
It's amazing, and we got all the time in the world. As long as you have the time, and if you have to go, we understand that. But we're going to run because this is very special for me personally, and if it runs long, if you're okay, we're okay.
I'm okay.
Please tell
I'm
the
okay.
story
I'm
because we want to
okay
hear
with
that
it.
chronology.
So after the Clown College, I did that for 8 years, and then what? Then I left. Then Kenneth called me back and said we're doing something at Disneyland. Go out to Disneyland.
right.
And talk to them, and we finalized that deal. So for 3 years, 8 to 10 weeks each in the summer, we did Circus Fantasy.
That's right.
And I think I hired like 25, 30 clowns for Circus
Guess who was
Fantasy.
there?
And Chucko was there.
Hello.
So we had performing clowns on the street. We had performing clowns on Coke Corner.
JP was there in an act.
And,
You hired him to do the sway pole on top of the.
On top of that was in Tomorrowland, I think.
Yeah, he'll tell about
And
it.
I had the Centrons, David and Christine Shabira. They did the Centron act there. I had what was his name? Munoz.
Munoz did the
who
cannon.
Did the cannon. I thought that was the funniest thing. Here's the death-defying human cannonball.
He was a cannonball.
And I remember I went into the trailer and I said, "You're late. What's going on? You got to get out there now." And he was like standing there with his hand, crying like a baby because he had a toothache.
Yeah.
And his mother that was
That's
with him
right.
was chasing him around with a pair of pliers in the trailer, trying to get him to pull the tooth out of his mouth so that he can get in the cannon and get shot out of the cannon.
Got one more. There's Diego. You hired him there, Diego, from California for the Circus World too. He's from wake up early in the morning. Good morning, Diego. And when you talk about Munoz and the cannon, so when you took us to Japan, and Ron was the director of that show with Peggy Williams was there and Charlie Ballman was there,
Right.
And Ron put the clowns together with, and he had us that we'd do in a cable car, but they were
We had
in
the cable car over
yeah,
Main Street.
remember? No, we had a Main Street and we had in Japan too.
Right,
over
right, right.
So there was only maybe 13 or 14 clowns went that first year of Japan. And so everybody was teamed up, but then it was me by myself, and I didn't have no partner in the hotel because the other two boys in the cable car were together. Then I was by myself, and you or Tim or somebody put that it was an actor, hired an actor to do the cannon. Remember, it was an actor, and he did the cannon, and he come out of that. He never been in the cannon before. They practiced him, but when he got to Japan, he come out of the cannon, looked like a chicken, and. Kenneth
No, I didn't hire that
Anyway,
guy.
Kenneth fired him, and they put Munoz in the cannon. And now it's 20 years later, right? And Munoz is twice as big. But he stuffed him in that cannon. But anyway,
Funny
we
guy.
get back to your
So yeah,
chronology.
JP was on the Tomorrow. Yeah, Tomorrow. The Tomorrow in the Terrace. The sway pole was installed. Yes.
Yeah, and Peter was on the floor,
Yes.
getting the crowd.
And Charlie Strawn. I
Yeah.
hired Charlie, and Charlie was doing.
Did the
hired
stilts.
Charlie for that and did the stilts. Did Uncle Sam character.
Yeah.
Did the circus, the festivals. I had this crew of people that they were talented people, they were funny, and they were really nice, dedicated, dependable people. So you knew that when I needed these people to be there, if we started
Yeah.
at 10 in the morning, everybody was there at 10 in the
You
morning,
bet.
and they were ready to go. And you know, how could they lose? Because after that, sometimes I'd hire them for this, sometimes I hire them for that, and they knew that was just do the right thing. I trust you. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
That's exactly
Just
right.
just be here. You start from this time, you go to this time, be funny.
Yeah.
You know, and then go back and take your breaks, and then when it's time to go out there, just be funny. Don't take advantage of anything. I just want to depend on you. Other than that, I'm not going to tell you how to clown. That's your business.
But that's the difference.
If
And
you were a
we,
carpenter, I wouldn't say this is how you're going to hold a hammer.
again, the blessing to have you here today to validate my observation. It's in my book as well. The observation is that under the, I can't speak, only I can speak from the people that mentored or taught and attended in under Bill Ballantyne, including you and the people we mentioned from your class, and then come in the other ones. Then when by the time I come around 10 years, I was at the 10-year anniversary, and you was Bill's assistant, but you actually was running the show there at the end. Bill was the director of the Clown College in 1977, and you was assistant. And
Then at the end of '77,
right.
that Bill left and I took over.
Right. And so, but here's the point I just want to say, and I say it in front of God and everybody, and you just fit in that neighborhood because it's my observation, and a lot of us had talked from that next era, your next 10, I say 8 years, but you say 8 years, but 10-year term as the director of the Clown College and different things that were involved with Ringling Brothers, that you just validated it by your own voice. The point that you didn't tell somebody how to clown or push somebody, you done this is what needed to be done, and the characters that you, and again go back to Bill Ballantyne and you had chosen over the years of your tenure as a director, the characters were so unique and different. Not everybody was what they call quote unquote a skill clown. They come in with juggling or unicycle, and there were some great ones, no question about it. You picked up some of the great ones all over, and they became teachers, and they became acts, and they became everything else. But the clowning and the character that they developed, who we were, because I didn't know nothing about how to develop whatever I am. It's a constant life. How do you develop in life? You turn into a little kid, and then you turn into a teenager, then you turn into a gentleman, and then and the things that affect you, culture and environment affect you. But the people that you and Bill, and I'm going to include both of you and Bill, especially in my tenure, when I become the boss clown, and we had the auditions, and you would come and direct the auditions, and the people you selected to go through the college was a unique group of people. They were just different, in a good way, different. They weren't like, it didn't matter. The word is strange or different or out, or you mentioned the barrel, you mentioned the
Yes, Swede
the
Johnson.
Swede
was-
with the barrel, right?
Yeah.
So he was a rodeo clown. But when you hired Steve,
Swede.
no, when in my class was his father was the greatest rodeo clown was Mitch. Where you at? My brain just had a book on how to improve my memory. I forgot where I put the book. Anyway, come to me like nobody's business. Simple Sid. His father was a rodeo clown. Sid Schumacher. His father was Jimmy Schumacher, one of the greatest rodeo clowns. And Sid was in our class. And I know it. And look at this guy. He was a strange cat, come from the rodeo world. But we all came from somewhere different is the point. And there wasn't one style of that. And each one of us, especially today, you think about all the ones from my particular group, which I reference in my book, every one of them is so totally different. Look at Keever over there, totally different. And there he is. He's right here, Cowboy Mike. So I don't want to get stuck on this, but I want you just validated for me and from your own voice. As a matter of fact, you didn't tell somebody how to clown because there's not one way to clown. There's rules, regulations, or protocol about being respectful and about understanding the business and understanding the audience and the responsibility that comes with that. But you didn't put nobody in their finger and say, you got to wear a glove or you don't got to wear a glove. Every clown does this.
Yeah,
Every clown.
you had to let them grow and seek their own development. You know, for me, it was I had to find the right seed of a person to plant into the clown college, and then the clown college had, I always called it Urban's Garden.
Right.
It was like the funny farm. You had to get the right seed of a person to then plant it in the clown college. Then it was my responsibility to make sure that that garden, that hothouse of clowning, literally, I had to give it the right sun, I had to give it the right water, I had to give it the right dirt, I had to give it the right nourishment. And that came in the sign of I had to give it Lou Jacobs, and I had to give it Frosty Little, and I had to give it George Schellenberger, and I had to give it, all the instructors. And then I went to the clown college. We had to. I tried to find every piece of juggling equipment I could possibly find and put it out there. Every kind of unicycle I could find and put it out there. Every hat possible that I could find that looked could be possibly a clown hat.
And you're still
But
collecting hats. Huh?
Yeah. Every piece of fabric, I used to go to 38th Street in New York City and pick up, buy, a bolt of this and a bolt of that. Here, that stripes I think will work. Those polka dots over there will work. Those check fabric over there, I think that'll work. And by bolt of fabric, so they could design their own costumes, put on the outside. And when we had costume designers.
Wait, let me interrupt you. I'm sorry, I have to, because you said something very important. Say you let them design their own wardrobe. We did have costume designers later, but
you had to have that. You had to find out who you were on the inside.
That's what I want to hear
first, so you can then develop what you needed to do on the outside. The thing was, we didn't have a year for that development. It was kind of like hothouse clowning. We had from the day that they walked in. 10 weeks later, right? For the beginning was 8 weeks later.
Right, when I was there.
You had to walk out with a clown character, routines, makeup, costumes, and the material. And week 8, so I ran a clown college for 8 years. Every year, I added a couple more days.
Sure.
From the time.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Is that right?
Yeah.
So
Irvin didn't know it.
No, you
so
slipped it in.
Yeah. Then at the end.
It was 10, right?
Yeah, 10 and a half weeks. He said, "Is this school getting longer?"
Yeah,
and I said, "Why the heck is he running this? It started at 8 weeks. Why the hell? I want a good answer from you."
Let me ask something wrong. Let me ask something wrong. The eyeballs going. So let me ask you. We got to interrupt. I have to interrupt you because it's so important to our audience. No, it's our audience. But I repeat this often on this program, and I say that I lost what I was going to tell you. You get me so excited. The development of the character and what you're doing and how you're doing is the individual, but you let them grow. You let them grow, right?
Yes, you had to let them grow, until they become. And now look, they were. It's they started off as little nuts, and now from some of those nuts, there's big
oak trees.
There's a big, great old oak trees out there, and you and Mitch.
And here's the point I was trying to get to. The point was that we were groomed and trained and taught, or introduced to, I don't say trained, introduced to performing in the arena for a lot of people. Big. The makeup was designed for long distance. The movement was designed for long distance. And although we had Bobby, Kay, and Peggy, and you, and Sandy would tell us for interview workshops and how to do one-on-one television and all that, it wasn't the bulk of the presentation that we were doing. It was a little piece of it. Some of us excelled in that areas, and we carried on to become promoters or advanced publicity, which you did as well.
Yeah, I did
advance
that for
ahead of the thing.
years.
So I'm going to finish that timeline, but I think it's important we talk about it on this program. Circus clowning trained by Ringling under your eras. And I can only speak to that because I only went back to teach later at the 20th anniversary. But during you, I had the privilege 3 or 4 times to come in from the road, and you would bring road clowns in.
Right.
And that was another thing. You're bringing road clowns in. What are they teaching? They're teaching what they do on the road and how to perform in Madison Square Garden, an arena. And it's arena clowning in addition to, but as opposed to close-up personal clowning. So quickly, I'm going to say, and I want your voice to opinion of this. Of the 50 students, when I came, it was 5,000 applicants and 50 students. That was the pre-R line, and it was close to that, 5,000 applicants a year, 50 students.
Yeah, it was 1 in 100. One out of 100.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
And so then by the end of the college, there's maybe 43 or 45, but only picked 10 or 12 to go in one of the 2 units. That time was the red and blue
Right,
unit.
You keep on grabbing the cream.
Right, keep grabbing cream and the cream. And so then those other people go back into town. And they go into communities. And this is where you were just outstanding, because over the years, even though you was building and creating this in this clown college as a director, that lot of people, that talented, wonderful people that maybe weren't prepared in the 10 or 8 weeks to go to the Ringling Circus, or they went on other shows. Then they went back to their town. They were doing their programming. They were the only one in the world from each and every city over the years that had that training and that education and that
Yeah, and
masterful.
that training is gone now. The place you can go now. One of my students, Priscilla
Right.
Trish, started Mooseburger Camp up in
Right.
Minnesota, and she runs her program. But it's 1 week, not 10 weeks.
And also, they teach a different skill set.
Yeah,
It's not
because
performing,
they're
right?
performing in a
That's where I
they're
want to
not
take you.
performing in an environment where you're audience. You're a storyteller. So if I'm sitting here and I want to tell you a story, I don't need a big grotesque makeup telling you this story right here. The features and everything can be very tiny. Now, if I take you and I put you on the 9th floor of Madison Square Garden, and I'm on the 5th floor of Madison Square Garden performing, now for me to tell you that story, I really got to move much wider. I got to move much bigger. Everything about me, when I smile, I want you to see the smile. So just like with Lou Jacobs, his head was exaggerated, his mouth was exaggerated, the costume was bigger, everything was bigger and bolder, so you could be a storyteller to your audience.
Don't worry. That's Noriko's Kitchen. She's full service. Storyteller.
If you think of yourself as a storyteller, as a comedic storyteller, I think it puts it into perspective that how you're gonna, if I was if you were gonna read a book, and you were on the 9th floor, I'm gonna have a book, is about the size of,
Sure.
like this and each word has to be this big.
That's right.
For you to be able to read the book.
Go to props and paint the outside of the book, right?
Right.
So that was another
So
class.
everything's
right?
got to be much larger and exaggerated, so you could be the storyteller that you need to be in the circus. And that was a 3-ring circus.
That's right.
Back then there was 3 rings because, in the turn of into the 19th century, into the 20th century, in the beginning of the circus there was 1 ring. And then there started becoming more competition. So they said, well, gee, we'll have 2 rings, we'll have 3 rings in the shape of the tent. And then circus day in a town where you're out in the middle of fields, and all of a sudden the circus comes to town that day, and the big circus parade comes down the street. Everything stopped. And you were going to take that day off, and the whole family, one of the few things that a whole family could do together, you go to the circus. And they made the circus so large, in some respects, to give you more than your money's worth, but also some people actually went, and they would, in the morning, they would see the morning show, and they would have a ticket from the front of ring 1, and then they would leave, and then they get back in line and get another ticket. Now they'd be on the back track by ring 3. And in between that, so the circus could make as much money as they could. Then they had the sideshow. They could try to get you into that tent and get a little more money. And then they had the menagerie tent and get a little more money. And then some of them even had like games and a little midway, so they could try to make as much money as they could.
And the concessions.
And the concessions. So, those circuses tried to make as much money as they could for that one day that you were in town. Because the tent could seat 10,000 people. So, and because there was 3 rings, and the tent was so large, the clowning had to be so large, in their makeups and their costumes and their props. In addition to the fact that there's some principles in clowning alone. An enlarged something, a huge arm, a huge hat, a huge chain to walk a tiny little dog, became funny. Those juxtaposition of big and small, Laurel and Hardy.
Right.
Of
Today's Oliver Hardy's birthday.
Oh, really?
Just happens to be. I happen to know that.
Oh.
And Billy Donnie, our great painter.
Oh, Billy the best.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
Just
that's
cut me
okay.
in. Sometimes I get them ideas, What happens is my tongue gets caught behind my eye teeth and I can't see what I'm saying.
Oh, well.
So
Just
anyway,
make sure they don't take out your wisdom tooth.
so there's a lot of notes here, and we'll get to them, and we can go through them together. We'll make a comment after, because these people's valuable time. We're 20 minutes more than normal, and we appreciate each and everybody. If there's something in there, Sid Schumacher, we're back to that. Thank you, Mitch.
Charlie Strawn.
There's Charlie, right? We talking
He's
about
still walking stilts.
yeah, he's still in Vegas. Yeah. I went to Vegas one time. I went out there in
What happened?
a $4,000 car, and I came back in a $35,000 bus. Hey, I got him to laugh. I got to tell you, what a blessing. We certainly is not enough time. We're going to ask you if you'll come back to the world of Chucko at your convenience.
I can do this in a half hour from now.
You can do it. Well, wait,
We'll
maybe
just
we'll do it
we'll
again. We'll do it again. But we like to do more. We love to have you as a guest. You're
Thank
a
you very much for the
mentor, a
invite.
friend, and more than a friend. But you're just so important in the life of the world of Chucko and me. We want to get you more involved in the world of Chucko. Obviously,
Okay.
we want you to.
Next Sunday I'll be on listening.
Great.
But until then,
Yeah, sell the book.
get them while they're hot. There it is. No,
Thank you.
no
Let me
light on
see.
it.
Tina says.
Ringling
let me see.
Remembered.
Yeah, Ringling Remembered is on there, and the other books are there. We'll translate the.
I was going to tell you some lines from Irvin Phil.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
that I wrote
we
down.
talk about. They know Irvin Feld in this program, and we were blessed both because of you. I got to know him, and
These are some of the quotes that
here we go.
he had told me because I had to work directly. I reported directly from Irvin. I mean, I could tell you stories forever on Irvin.
We'll do it.
Getting called 4 o'clock in the morning my time, and with him being on Bulgaria, saying, "Okay, Ron, let's." And he went through every single clown application. Yes, no, maybe. And if I recommended, if I didn't recommend somebody, he just said, "Well, Ron, it's your family name and your own reputation and your, and And if
Wait,
this
say that
person-
again. I want everybody to know it's what
it's
we.
your family name and it's your reputation. Every decision that you make.
And that's what we do in the world of Chuck. We use that, Mr. Feld's words. We use that.
So here's some lines that I wrote down that I put into the book. This is from Irvin Feld, quotes. Ron, always remember that it is show business and the show always comes first. Ron, remember, you don't work for me, you work with me. And
We
that's
use
a
that.
very important thing in any walk of life, in particular in show business. You know if there's somebody that you report to, if you're working with them or if they make you feel like you're working for them. Because I felt like I was working with him, and he always made me feel like I was
You bet.
working with him.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And it's so important. We live that motto in the world of Chuck as well.
And I had to produce because if I couldn't do it, I remember one time it like just kicked me right in gear that day. He said, "Ron, I want to ask you, can you handle this particular job? Because if you can't, I'll get somebody else who can."
I told it just last week. What the hell is that? That's the best you can do?
And I'd say, "Yeah, yes, sir, absolutely, I can handle it." Oh, I don't care how much it costs. Find me funny clowns for my circus. However, remember, anyone can create anything with an unlimited amount of money. A true artistic genius can create a masterpiece on a dime.
That's great. That's
It's
great.
like do work your butt off and try to do it.
Do it as cheap as possible.
as cheap as
1
possible.
2x4, not
Yeah.
6, right?
Yeah, and then this goes along with that when he says, "Ron, with Clown College, you don't have a budget. Spend whatever it costs to get me the funniest clowns in the world, but not $1 more."
I got one more. You got one more in there?
Yeah, okay. Well, I know I got 12 more.
Okay. Go ahead.
If it's not absolutely necessary, then don't do it. I don't care about that. Are they funny? I'm busier than a one-arm wallpaper hanger. It's the best thing since sliced bread. It's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Every show that I do has got to be the talk of the town. Ron, always remember, this ain't the best show around. This is the greatest show on earth. Now let's get to work. Love
Great.
that guy. And
How about this one? I'm sure you have it in there. I may not know what funny is, but I know what it ain't. And that ain't funny.
yeah.
Ron, what a blessing to have you here today. We're going to rerun this. We're going to go to...
Am I out of time?
Yeah, almost. We're going to get you to the finish. You're going to have the finish. Don't worry.
No, I'm just joking with you.
We want to make sure that we answer the questions. I'm so happy to see Patriotide in there. I don't think she had never met you, but she has been with the world of Chucko. And let's see who else is in there that you know. Many.
A lot of these people.
So we will.
I know, or they're taught.
If
or
we
I
missed
work-
your comment, I'm sorry, I apologize, but we're just so important to hear Ron's story. I don't think I've never heard it, and it's a blessing to have it now on film. We're definitely going to bring it back. Of course, Rico says have Ron as a special guest again. Absolutely, we got to have you back, and make sure that you be a part of the world of Chucko. We want you to. You're a mentor already. You're a
Whatever you
part.
need, whatever you need.
Well, here you heard it here.
You don't stop being a student because the clown college was over.
You bet. You bet. And we respect you and love you. And I want to say I'm going to post the post that I normally post, and it's empowered more. Ron has done more for the American clown, in my humble opinion, and quite a few other people's opinion. I know Kiever had that opinion. Mitch had that opinion. Peter Potofsky had that opinion. Almost
Peter.
everybody in my alumni from my class and prior. And I can only speak, again, on this show, I only speak from my heart and what I know. And I know the people that are in our world, in the world of Chucko, they know about you, they revere you, they love you, but now is history time. And you are maybe the last of the Mohicans. I'm sorry to say that. I'm happy to say it, but I'm sorry to say it, because you probably know more than we'll ever learn. You probably forgot more than we'll ever learn. You've experienced it personal, hands-on, but you've helped, mentored, guided, and given careers to people that maybe, and they have families and they have their whole livelihood, and they have to thank you, Ron. I'm telling you directly thank you, because there's a lot of people that help. Everybody helps everybody. But in the case of you, I know in the case of me, you kicked me in the can at the right time. There was respect and love, but you always did everything you did from your heart. And I know it personally. I'm saying it right here in the world of Chucko. Our people here get it. They get it clearly.
I got that from Otto. He
Well,
said, no matter what you do everything from the bottom of your heart.
yeah, well, you did, and you do. And you still get his book, absolutely, on Amazon. Go to the Severini group. Is that what it is?
No, the Severini Company.
It's on here. Tears will put it on. Thank you very much. I saw that Tears and David are going to turn this. We're going to turn it into a YouTube, and we'll make sure that it goes on the World of Chucko channel, and we'll get it distributed. But
Great. I'm honored.
we're honored to have you, the World of Chucko. Is there any? Oh, we mentioned your son. You can find out more about him at the Severini.
No, actually, he's got his own. He's an independent filmmaker up in New Jersey.
New
York
Jersey, right?
area. And I think you can go to youtube.com/Joey Severini.
We'll put it on.
Yeah.
We'll put it on. Right.
And the name of his company is mentalproductions.com. So he makes his own little short films. He's now got his own feature film that he's that's out, and he's just trying to
Great.
make comedies. He has an independent movie making company that just specializes in comedies, and I think he's the only company probably in the world that just specializes in comedies.
Amazing, and he's got the greatest asset to have you
Well,
as
I'll
his
do
father.
anything in the world for him.
You
But I'll
bet.
do anything in the world for any of my students out there.
Well, there you go. If you're a student of Ron, if you wasn't, he'll still do it for you. I've got
Yes.
you mentioned his name of his tell me that company name again, because
Mentalproductions.com.
when we say mental,
Mental, mental, mental, like mental.
I was did a workshop a few different times. I did it at the Moose Camp, as a matter of fact, quite a few years ago. But our program on Kiever's birthday, August 18th, here in Sarasota, we're going to do an introduction to the world of Chucko, because the world of Chucko is fun, mental. And that's where the mental comes. Fun, mental. Very cerebral. And there's a lot to it with our senior care and special needs. And as far as what you said today, developing the individual character by yourself with assistance and guidance, but it has to come from inside. And so that's what that program is about. I don't know if you're here on the 18th, but you're certainly welcome to join us. We also want to make an announcement. The World of Chucko is a partner with the Suncoast Aging Network. And we mentioned it before. And this week on Thursday, Grandma Pearl and Nancy will be joining us they have a masquerade event. It's a fundraiser. We're just there as an atmosphere, but the World of Chucko is a part of that. It's the Suncoast Aging Network will have it on the World of Chucko Facebook page, and you can find out there. The blessing comes from God. We believe that 100 million %. You can believe whatever you want, but it's a miracle that I can be sitting here, and it's a miracle that you're in town and you can do the World of Chucko. We want to thank Noriko's Kitchen for her morning breakfast.
Absolutely.
I hope you
What are
enjoyed
we
that.
having for lunch?
You never know. You never know. But I'm still on the fasting. So, but we're going to go have a cup of coffee. We want to say thank you. Ron and I will scroll the questions. So if we missed anything, we apologize. We always end the program. Ron, you might know this one. I'm sure you do. Wear a little hat. Wear a little hat. Just put a hat. Yo, you got a hat on. You got a hat on.
Okay.
Red skeleton, you get ready to make a little school.
Two
Two seagulls.
Two seagulls.
Yeah, you know that one. Go ahead, you can do it. Two seagulls. Two seagulls. Yeah.
Gertrude Nichols. Two seagulls.
So we end the program because Jackie, when we were doing the programs in the facilities, we do the program. Jackie LeClaire said, "You got to have a finish. You got to have a finish." So he's at with Noriko, and he found Red Skeleton's "Thank You, Goodbye" song. And when we met Red, you had many times, and he come around the circus. He loved the circus and the clowns.
All the time
That's
out
right.
in
He
California.
would pick out somewhere, and he'd have just spread.
Yeah.
He always said, if you have a chance to talk to the public, make sure you say thank you. He said he wrote this little poem, and he put it to music, and we end every one of our programs with this little song. I think you'll remember the words. It says, "The time has come to say goodbye. My, how time does fly. We had a laugh, perhaps a tear. Now we hear goodbye.
Bye.
We really hate to say goodbye, for times like these are few. We wish you love and happiness in everything you do. The time has come to say goodbye. We hope we made some friends. And so we'll say, may God bless you until we meet again." Thank you very, very much. We'll see you next time in the World of Chucko. Rerun this. We'll be coming on later. We'll answer all your questions. And Ron?
And may God bless.
There we go. Have a great day, everybody. It's a blessing. It's a blessing.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye
Thank you,
from the
Chucko.
World of Chucko and Ron Severini, our special guest.
Play it.